Hello, new MAPM students. My name is Dr. Stuart Squires. I am the director of the MAPM, the MA in Pastoral Ministry program here at St. John's Seminary. Today's short little video is one of several videos in a series where we want to train you as new students on just some of the basic things you'll need to know about navigating your time here at St. John's. So, for example, other training videos dealing with library services, for example, how to navigate the library website, get the resources that you need, how to use your email. Maybe our system is different from any system you've used before. So you need to know how to learn to use our email system. Today's video is on Zoom. How do we use Zoom? What is Zoom? So Zoom is the software program that we will use for class 2 hours in the evening, 1 day a week, where we all come together and all of the students, the professor and the students in the class come together for a discussion about the materials that you've read for the week, the unit of the period. So you may have used Zoom before or something like it, Microsoft Teams. It's not too difficult, but again, we want to make sure that you have an understanding of the basics of this. So the first thing is your professor will, on the syllabus and maybe in another email, give you either a link to the Zoom class that will be held for the entire week, the entire semester, or we'll give you the meeting ID. And you just go to the Zoom website and type in the meeting ID. It is an 11-digit number. And you also might have after that a security passcode that you need to enter, or maybe the professor will have something like a waiting room where you will have to wait in that room until the professor is ready to let you in. These are simply reasons, ways to prevent anybody getting into the class and Zoom bombing the class, which of course we don't want. So once you are in the class, there's just a couple of different things that you should know. Up in the top left corner, it won't always be there, but you can see, especially if you move your cursor over the top, it might say recording. Certainly, I always record all of my Zoom classes. Your professor may or may not. It's a good thing for people who have emergency situations to be able to watch the recording later on and within the coming week. This is one of the good things about online education, distance education, is you have that flexibility if need be. So we expect you to come to class, but there are emergencies and we recognize that. When you are led into the class, again, you might enter into the class in a little bit different way depending on the professor. Most professors, you will enter in with a black screen and you will be muted, which means no one will be able to see you. And although you might be able to see them if they've made themselves available, and no one will be able to hear you. So the first thing you would want to do when you're ready to go is move your cursor down to the bottom left, and you will see the mute button. And you can unmute yourself by clicking that button. And just next to that, to the right of that, is the video button, and you can click that button to make yourself able to be seen by everybody else. Now, make sure ahead of time what you're going to want to do is test your camera and your mic, especially if they are not integrated into your computer, to make sure that those work. Right? We've all had the experience of a mic or a camera not working. One of the sort of best practices of Zoom is, especially if you have a lot of people in the class, is if you have a lot of people and everybody has their mic on, then you have a sort of feedback loop where you can hear background noise, and nobody enjoys that. So one thing you're going to want to do is keep yourself muted, although keep your camera on. And throughout the class, when you're ready to speak, you can either click that mute button to unmute yourself, ask your question, make your comment, or you can hold the space bar down temporarily, and while you're speaking, hold it down the entire time and then let go. So you want to, again, keep yourself muted. If you move, again, your cursor towards the bottom and see some other options that we could take advantage of. So the first one in the middle, and I'm going to do this right now, it's called share screen. So this is if you, for example, have a presentation to give and you have a PowerPoint you want to show to the rest of the class. What you can do is click on that button, share screen, and then what will pop up is a variety of options for you to choose from. So the first thing is if you have a PowerPoint presentation, what you want to do is have that PowerPoint presentation open and ready to go. So what I'm going to click on here, you click on what you want to share, and then on the bottom right, you click on the share button. And what I'm just showing here simply is the St. John Seminary webpage for the faculty. So what you can see here is on the left, our rector, Father Marco, and then on the middle is our coordinator of human formation, Father Swavic, and then to the right, Father John is our academic dean. So that you, the professor and your fellow colleagues can follow along with you as you give your PowerPoint presentation, okay? I'm going to click on stop share here. Something else that you might want just to the left of that is the chat button. If you click on the chat button, you can send text messages over to the right. And what you can do is choose to whom you want to send your messages. So you can send it to everybody who can see it. So that would be everyone, or you can change that such that you can send a message to an individual person like the professor and say, sorry, professor, I'm not feeling well. I have to step out of class for a minute, right? So only the professor would get that message. And your professor might send you messages through the chat button as well, links, for example, okay? There are other things here that you may or may not use. These are, I would call bells and whistles. And so you can certainly play around with them if you would like. The one on the bottom right is called whiteboards. So if you were given the permissions by the professor, maybe the professor will do this, it's kind of like a chalkboard or a whiteboard that you would have in the classroom. So that's pretty much it, at least from the student side. It's a little more involved from the professor side in getting the Zoom set up, but you don't need to know that. These are the basic functions of Zoom. So thank you for watching this. If you have any questions, the director, am the point person for technological questions. So feel free to email me. You have my email contact information. I don't want to post that here. And you're welcome to send me a message if you have any questions about Zoom. I look forward to seeing you in class.